It's Tuesday, July 31st, and I'm your host, Paula Hersey. On today's show, we check in with Barnstable Police Chief Sonneman, talk to BHS Principal Pat Clark, and get ready for Unity Day this Friday. Let's start with some news you can use. The town of Barnstable, together with the Barnstable Police Department and a community group, People of Action, are presenting the town's third annual Unity Day. Unity Day will be held on Friday, August 3rd at the Hyannis Village Green from 4 to 7 p.m. The event is free and open to all who wish to attend. Food and entertainment will be provided. Attendees are advised to bring their own blankets and chairs. Channel 18 was out at last year's event to document all the fun and community unity.
The Barnstable community unites during the second annual Unity Day. The event, hosted by People of Action, the Barnstable Police Department, and the town of Barnstable, drew hundreds of residents to the village green. The goal is to unite the community and local police force. And unite it did. Attendees enjoyed live music, dancing, free food, and activities for all ages.
Personally, this makes me very, very happy. The reason we did this was to bring the community together. What makes a great community is not the buildings, the landscape, or where it is. It's the people who live in the community. And we have a very diverse community. And it's great to see everybody come together and just have a good time. It's awesome.
I'm extremely proud. This is really just, it shows exactly what can happen when people put aside their differences, whatever they may be, get out of their comfort zone, come together to work on different things. And this is really what I believe our country is when it shows its best qualities.
I mean, it's just beautiful. Beautiful to see everyone out here. A lot of people helped get this thing together. Everyone did a great job, and the community just, like the chief said, like Jesse said, everyone just came out and really embraced each other. It's beautiful.
And the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave.
This is one of the best days. I look forward to this every year. Now, it's only the second year, but I've thought about just us being together. And when we were kids, we used to get together for little things. But this is on such a larger scale. And I'm so happy that I'm alive, I'm healthy, I'm doing things that are positive, and it's spreading out to so many different people. And then when I got a call from Jesse and Andre and Tim and all of us got together, it's like, we need to get together and build up some more unity. And they watch what I do, and now I'm like, listen, like I say, it's one love, one family, one community. And that's real. It's not like just, some days on this or some days on that. That's every single day. Like when you wake up in the morning, yeah, that's a great day. That's a great start to whatever you're doing. So don't waste your time. You know what I mean? It's good. There's more good than bad.
opportunity to say thanks to Jesse and Andre and the rest of the People of Action who took the time to make a difference in their community and get us all together and be a positive force for good instead of sitting around complaining about why things weren't getting done. They took it upon themselves to actually get it done. Thank you very much for doing that. But I want to remind us all that in a community, we should all be people of action. The community doesn't survive if we all don't get involved. Do your part, get involved, pull your end of the weight, and be part of the solution. Join us, be a person of action, and help this community survive and continue and become a better place. Don't stand still, keep moving. Thank you.
It was a tough weekend for first responders. Barnstable Police were on the front lines this past weekend for a horrific crash in Katuitt. Chief Sonnabend joins us on the phone today to fill us in on all the details. Chief, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm very well, and yourself?
Pretty good. Yes, you're correct. It was a tough weekend. It all began with that I don't know how to describe it, terrible incident down in Falmouth, where the officers are just seemingly responding to, I guess, what you call almost a routine call, where report of somebody in the street, maybe smashing bottles or creating some sort of disturbance, and it just completely went south from there. I don't even know what words, can't even describe it. It's kind of your worst nightmare as a police officer. You show up dealing with somebody you not really aware of, had never really dealt with before, and then ends up with just about everybody involved in the incident going to the hospital. And thank God that none of the police officers were seriously injured, or even the suspect, that he's gonna survive this apparently. So there is at least that, but I don't even know what to say about it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it's a tough situation for any officer to go into. So, hopefully in the next few, next legislation is, try to solve the, getting these folks back out on the street again. So.
Yeah, I mean, it seems to be, maybe a recurring theme, I suppose, for some of these people. But this individual, didn't really seem that there'd been that long criminal history that was prevalent in some of the other things that we've dealt with in the recent past. It's just, I don't know whether it's people just don't have that respect for law enforcement anymore, or if it comes down to people just don't have respect for each other anymore, and it's just rubbing off on us now, so.
Yeah. And that wasn't the only incident this weekend. Your staff responded to a crash in Katuitt that involved some police as well, perhaps, but just horrific and a really sad story.
Yep, it is. You're right. It was a tough weekend, and I don't know how you get any more sad than this. A man that had just come from the hospital celebrating the birth of his daughter, only to be killed in a car accident by somebody who, as looking at the paper today, had another long history of involvement with the police, and was driving in a reckless and dangerous manner, and caused this accident. I don't, when we get the call for this accident that occurred shortly after midnight, and show up there, and the one car is split in two, the other one is completely destroyed, and the Katuitt FD came out there and did a heroic effort trying to save the life of Mr. Quinn that was in the car, and got him off to the South Shore Hospital. But unfortunately, it appears that everyone involved in this accident, has passed away now.
Right.
It's sad on everybody's part, because I know that there's families on both sides of this equation, and that they don't understand what happened, and we're still sorting things out. And at this point, there are some assumptions being made that Mr. Rivera was driving the car, but we have to do our due diligence, and the traffic accident investigators are going to verify or attempt to verify who was actually driving the car, because both people were ejected at the scene.
Yeah, it seems that there's this, I don't know, maybe it's Mercury in retrograde, Chief.
Maybe. There was some talk. I know I read about, they had that blood moon that was going on, and big astrological events. Again, I don't know what it is. I just think that it's. I hate to say it, but sometimes it looks like that's just the way we've gone as society now. Everybody just does whatever they want. No one stops for the police anymore. No one, respects anybody, and they just do whatever they want.
Well, I think the town of Barnstable and the Barnstable Police will maybe perhaps change that this Friday, Chief. Community
We are
unity.
going to try to. It is going to be the 3rd annual Unity Day on Friday. A great event, bringing the community together. Maybe forget a little bit about some of these events that happened over the weekend. Maybe forget is not the right word, but come together and maybe talk about it a little bit and see things in a little more positive light for that day, for that afternoon. It's been some great work done by a lot of individuals to bring that event together over the past couple of years. I know that there are people in there that say that there are people that have had problems with the police and are involved in this event and whatever. But I think in the end, when you look at it, maybe they were, and maybe we had our differences, but everyone has the opportunity to turn over a leaf and do something good for their community and mature and put the past behind them. And I think this is an example of people coming together for the right reasons and doing a good thing.
This must help your staff as well as they come onto the town green and being able to see people who are there for them as well as for their own community, and perhaps maybe taking those first steps over the bridge to bring civility back into our society.
Yeah, I think that is a good thing to see, but I also think it's good to see that people in the community see that there are people in the community that are saying that, hey, we've got to steer our ship too. It's not just the responsibility of the police to, do all this. We also have some responsibility on our end to do the right thing and to organize things and to get out there and spread the word. So it's not just about, the police and government doing whatever it needs to do, but it's about us as a community doing what we need to do too.
That's right. We all need to come together and, behave responsibly as well as, I think, compassionately. Compassion seems to have fallen by the wayside as well. So the more that we can get together and maybe, see what we have in common rather than what our differences are.
Yeah, and, maybe that has something to do with how technologically dependent we've become, that, everyone can say whatever they want behind the anonymity of a computer screen or a keyboard, but to really sit down and talk to somebody takes a little bit of emotion and takes some investment, and I think that helps resolve your differences.
So who's going to be in the dunk tank this year?
We're keeping that close to the vest this year. We'll see what happens this year.
I thought I'd have some breaking news.
Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Okay. Thank you so much, Chief. I know that you've got a lot of work left to do this week, and we'll see you on Friday.
All right, see you on Friday.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Pat Clark, principal of Barnstable High School, joined us in studio to teach us about the new 7-period schedules going into effect in September and the exciting options for all students to take semester electives. Changes at Barnstable High School. With me today, Pat Clark. You've got new schedules, and it's not too soon to talk about coming back to school, and I'm sure some parents will agree with us.
It's not too soon to talk about coming back to school, and yes, we have a new schedule for Barnstable High School.
Great. So this schedule didn't arbitrarily just change this week. There was a lot of forethought. So why don't we give our viewers a little bit of history of how the schedule change came about?
Over the course of the last couple of years, we realized both the requirements to graduate from a high school in Massachusetts, plus some of the courses that we feel are very important here in Barnstable, those were filling up all of the slots in our current high school schedule. So many areas in the program of studies, in the arts, many of the elective areas, physical education, etc., students weren't able to access them the way that we wanted. students in the past had only been taking 6 courses, and generally they were full-year courses. So this new schedule that we have looks much like our old schedule, with the exception of there's a 7th course that is embedded that moves throughout the schedule, and many students, particularly our upperclassmen, will be taking semesterized courses, so they can choose 2 new things. They can choose something in the fall and something in the spring to get a taste of or some exposure to something that's new.
So it's kind of like having an appetizer. So let's talk a little bit about that. So, you know, everybody says, well, the school day is so long as it is. You're not extending the school day. There's just a timing change in the courses that they're taking now.
Yes, how we're apportioning the minutes for each class that a student takes is changing. The school day is going to remain the same start and end time. And we're really looking forward to it. Students are excited about the opportunities, taking advantage of all the opportunities in the program of studies. And it's going to be a great thing for Barnstable High.
Right. Talk a little bit about some of those courses. You know, the ability for somebody to explore in high school some of the things that they may like and then take a course and not like. What are some of those things that they might be taking this?
Well, there are 4 areas that are real career technical education areas. In the certified nursing program, the food service and hospitality program, the police academy and student police academy is not a certified CTE area, but certainly it gives students a great introduction to the work of police, fire, and the courts. And then we have early childhood and care for people who are interested in going into being a preschool teacher, a daycare center owner. And those areas students can now get a taste of to find out whether that's potentially their line of work. And those areas we know are all in high demand in terms of our region of Massachusetts. So the Department of Ed and the Federal Reserve both put out materials that tell us what the job market is going to look like in the future to make sure we're preparing students for the jobs that are really going to exist. In particular, the medical field, with the aging population in Massachusetts in general, but on Cape Cod specifically, I believe we're one of the oldest counties in the country. The healthcare needs are going to be significant. So giving students a taste of any of those areas while in high school is very valuable, because maybe even more importantly than knowing what you love, learning that you're not interested in that at all when it's not costing $50,000 or $60,000 a year is very important for our families. Also, we were able to open up the program of studies for all sorts of new courses that had been kind of on the sidelines and people had been ready to go with. The one we're getting the most feedback about from families is SAT prep embedded during the school day. Because many of the SAT programs are quite expensive. They include Saturdays and evenings. We've heard a lot of feedback from parents that they are excited that their student can get preparation for SAT during the regular school day.
Right. So let's, parents are happy. Let's talk about the student a little bit and the workload. So they're taking another course. How is that workload going to be balanced with another course throughout the school day, or through the homework evening hours is really what it is?
It's interesting that you brought that up. Our school council, which is a group of our faculty and staff members, parents, and students, spent the year focusing exclusively on homework and the homework policy. And I actually have a memo drafted to go to the school committee and back to my own leadership team about examining some of the homework practices. But one of the pieces that everyone on the leadership team at the high school agrees is that homework should be purposeful and it should be practiced to be ready for whatever it is that comes next in the curriculum of the course. I think our expansion of the program of studies, it certainly does include courses that students could take that could be a real heavy lift for homework if they chose. However, if you look at a majority of those courses, they seem to be more enriching experiences that don't have as much of a demand outside of the classroom as, say, a standard mathematics, English, history, or science course. And I hope students take advantage of those opportunities, and in some cases maybe choose a course that is a learning lab type of support course that will allow them to do better on their existing courses, because some students have that need as well.
Great, and you actually brought up a point for another question of mine, is that a lot of these courses are collaborative problem-solving courses, aren't they?
They absolutely are, and the most creative arrangements are those that are now starting to cross over lines between departments. So when it's interdisciplinary and it's looking at collaborative problem solving and it's looking at the kind of group dynamics, those are all the skills that students need to do well in a college dorm or in a workplace. So we really need to build up those social emotional learning skills as best we can embedded in the regular classroom.
This is fantastic. I think, as September, the students will get excited. They've chosen some of their courses already, I would imagine. Was this open to them before they left?
They've chosen all of their courses.
All of their courses.
So we had Step Up Day back on June 8th, and that is a day that we run the whole school schedule for the next year. Great. So the 7th grade from BIS and students from other schools who are returning to Barnstable High, currently in the 7th or 8th grade, come over. All of BIS grade 7 comes over, and everyone shifts up steps up to the next year. And we have a little work to do to make sure that every I is dotted and T is crossed, but we're 99% of the way there in terms of the schedule for the school for next year.
Right. And I'm sure this is in the back of the mind, and it's always a question when we talk about school departments in our 15 towns and the disparity and how things work with school choice. This sort of puts Barnstable up another step here to say, hey, this is something that we offer in high school.
It is, and I would put the program of studies at Barnstable High School up against any program of studies in the Commonwealth or maybe in the country. I've examined many of them. Programs of study are online, and when you look at what we offer, particularly keeping the arts program as robust as we have, the variety of offerings in the wellness and PE, and the high-end electives in the 4 core academic areas, as well as advanced placement languages in all of our languages, 5 years of language. Our program of studies, there's nothing in our immediate area, I believe, that competes with the Barnstable High School program of studies.
Excellent. Well, keep up the good work. Anything else you want to tell parents or students before the year starts?
No, just wanted to say enjoy the rest of your summer, and we will see you real soon back at Barnstable High School.
Excellent. Thank you, Pat.
Thank you.
Here's a fun class for your community calendar. Can't turn yourself into a pretzel? That's okay, because you can do chair-supported yoga and still get all the benefits. Take this class and then practice from the comfort of your own home in your own chair. The benefits of this class will surprise you, as it has been shown to improve overall health, prevent and even some cases reverse disease when practiced regularly as a lifestyle. With this in mind, it's no surprise that it can, therefore, lend its benefits to those with mobility issues. Think improved strength, flexibility, mental clarity at any age. Reduce stress, improve pain management, and posture. Classes start August 1st and run through September 19th, so call the Barnstable Senior Center today, 508-862-4750. Comments, suggestions, accolades? Connect with us on Facebook. Email us or send us an old-fashioned note by carrier pigeon. Channel 18 works for you. I'm Paula Hersey, and thank you for watching Barnstable Today.